Welcome to See, we're off to a great start already. Welcome to episode 61 of Two Guys, One Sport. The long national nightmare is over. We're back from our month-long hiatus, and I already can't speak English. My name is Chris. It's good to be back.
Don't call it a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to top what just happened, but live radio.
Yeah.
So we just, much like REO Speedwagon, we just roll with the changes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Thank you in advance for hanging out with us on a Thursday. What is pro wrestling? Because I haven't,
that's a good question. Yeah,
I haven't talked about it in a while.
Yeah, we might be a little bit rusty.
The last time we talked, the WWE still hadn't made millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
That's how long ago that was.
Yep.
The last time we talked, we didn't have a Dominion card except for the main event.
Last time we talked, there was still a trial going on between CM Punk and Christopher Amon.
Yeah. The last time we talked, I would say it was cold, but it's been kind of a spring anyways, So.
Can you send that my way, please? It was 81 degrees on my drive home today.
Oh, that's not bad. I think
it is bad. I mean, when you have an all black car with an all black leather interior, your car.
My mom has a black leather interior, and it's no fun.
It is the literal worst.
I don't like leather because my ass slides.
See, I don't mind the leather, but
my ass slides in the leather. My ass does not slide in the non-leather seats, but it slides in the leather seats.
I also have the heated seats too, which work exceptionally well with the leather.
That is key. My sister has the heated seats, and it's life. You don't even need the heater if you have the heated seats.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you have the heated steering wheel too.
No, I do not have that.
But that's bougie as fuck. But that is quite great.
I don't need that because the last time I was at Pep Boys when I was getting my oil changed, I got a fancy schmancy Darth Vader steering wheel cover that fits all my needs. So I got that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Did you see Solo? Should we talk about Solo?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Then the only thing that I have seen of like recent movies is Deadpool 2. I still haven't even seen Infinity War. It was like
I haven't seen Infinity War, but I'm not a comic book guy, so I may not watch it.
Yeah, before Deadpool 2, it was Black Panther. Was the last thing I had seen before that. So.
I saw Solo. It surpassed my very low expectations.
Okay,
I don't know if that says anything about the movie or about my expectations. You know what Solo was like? I'll give you a spoiler-free review. You know how there's like a good match on Raw, and you're like, wow, this is a good match, but then you never think about it ever again?
Yep.
That's what Solo was like.
Nice.
Like one of those nameless Miz Rollins matches on Raw. We were like, at the time, you're like, hey, this match is pretty good. This is like 3.25, 3.5 star match, which for TV is pretty damn good. And then by like Thursday, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they had a match.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what Solo was like.
If you don't have a podcast where you're talking about it, you forget it exists.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, this movie's not bad. And then you're like, oh yeah, okay.
6 months later, all right, I saw that in the theaters. Now it's coming out on DVD.
If you're a Star Wars fanboy like I am, as I look at my 3 posters of Star Wars on my wall, you'll appreciate the fan service.
Yep.
Alden Eichenreich, or however you pronounce his name, he kind of grows into the role a little bit.
Cool.
Emil Clark does nothing for me. Very pretty, does nothing for me though. Otherwise, Paul Bettany's quite good. Woody Harrelson's quite good. Donald Glover's quite good. Yeah. And I mean, it's a 3.25, 3.5 star movie. Like, nothing bad, but it's not average. It's not making any match of the year list, Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Sounds
good. I saw it for matinee, so it was $8. I would recommend doing that or getting it on Fox or Netflix or whatever. There's no need to pay full price.
Yeah, get the half price deals. If your movie theater has a half price Tuesday, go see it on half price Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. One of those. Like if you don't work a 9 to 5, if you work like nights, then you can go on like a Wednesday afternoon, before you go to work, if you wait tables or whatever. That may be the way to go. So, Chris, people did not come here for me to talk about movies.
No, they did not come here to talk about movies. They came here to talk about the pro graps that we have not talked about for a month.
And We have not talked about it for a month, but we are back.
Yeah.
And why are we back? Because the second biggest company in the world is putting on their second biggest show.
Yes.
In like 36 hours, and we should probably talk about that.
Absolutely.
But first, you have a match of the week.
I do.
I also have a match of the week, but it is a match of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this. This is going to be a good one.
Do you want to go first, or should I?
I think I'll go first. And like I said, I feel like I have an idea of what yours is going to be, but I'm saving my prediction until you say what it is. So let's go with my match of the week first. And I've called back to the wondrous might that is Wrestle Kingdom 11 on a number of occasions.
Oh.
And
is that Okada Omega main event?
That is Okada Omega 1.
Yeah.
That is the show. And we're doing that again tonight with a match that I think we're going to use as a little bit of foreshadowing / comparison for something that's going on the show that's happening in about 36 hours. So we're going to talk right now about the Never Openweight Championship match between Katsuyori Shibata and Hiroki Goto.
Oh, good match.
Which it's a stellar match, one of that 5-star 5 ending matches of the show. And this match is, the execution of the match itself, like in the moment watching the match live, the execution of the match itself is obviously stellar. This is an amazing match.
I would posit that this is one of the most underrated matches of the year because it gets swallowed up by Naito, Tanahashi, and the main event.
Yep. Not to mention also Kushida, Takahashi.
Yeah, it just gets lost in. It's a 4.5, 4 3/4 star match that gets lost in the shuffle.
So watching this match back, obviously I'd seen it live. I watched Wrestle Kingdom 11 live, but watching it back after the fact, this match is one of the best simple storytelling showcases that I've ever seen, because you have the case of two guys with entirely different approaches. We have Goto coming into this match, was the man who had just lost the G1 finals and was on had a pretty awful 2016 and was basically on borrowed time in the sense that he never had proven that he could win the big one. And pretty much everybody knew that he couldn't win the big one, and everybody going into this match said, "You're not going to win because you can't win the big one."
He won the G1 finals, the G1 A block, because
of a draw.
Okada and Tanahashi drew.
Yeah,
after losing to both of them.
Yep.
That doesn't tell you all you need to know about the Hiroki Goto experience. That he backdoored his way into the G1 finals, where he had no chance of winning, even though the match itself was very good.
Yes.
The closing sequence where Omega breaks out the other Bullet Club members' finishing maneuvers, Sunday Bloody Sunday, and then the Styles Clash as an homage that he is continuing that legacy. The match itself was excellent, but Hiroki Goto is just kind of cannon fodder.
Yes. Yeah. He is the sacrificial lamb in that case.
Yeah.
So that that was Goto's background there going into that. It was he can't win the big one, and he has no chance. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, we have the wrestler Shibata, who has held the belt for quite a long time at this point, is also holding the Rev Pro heavyweight championship. Is the UK heavyweight champion in Rev Pro, and is at the top of his game, and cannot possibly be taken down by anybody. So going into this match, it was very clear right from the outset what was the mindset of both wrestlers. Goto coming into this was swinging for the fences right out the gate, trying to do whatever he could to get the advantage. And Shibata, being cyborg Shibata that he is, basically was his usual emotionless, calm, cool, collected self, dismantling everything that Goto did and holding him down and saying, "You can't beat me. Like you don't have what it takes in you to beat me." And that was the story of the match. Shibata had his game plan, and he stuck to his game plan because he knew it could beat Goto until it couldn't. Because Goto found that inner reserve, he found that fighting spirit, to fire up, and he started fighting back, not with desperation, but with confidence. And it all started in the moment of Shibata letting his cyborg mask slip for a second and showing a little bit of overconfidence and disrespect and kicking Goto in the face a bunch of times. And Goto takes it, takes it again, and then he finally just pops up and starts forearming Shibata right in his neck. And if you go back and watch, this is when Shibata had the kinesio tape basically across his entire upper back, like from shoulder blade to shoulder
Cesaro
blade.
style. Yeah,
but like from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, he was wrapped. It was it was pretty intense there. So Goto just starts firing back, and Shibata sticks to his game plan. He keeps on grounding Goto, keeps on countering and taking him down and executing his ground game and his strikes. And Goto just keeps coming, and he won't stay down. He won't stay down for anything. He gets kicked so many times. He's getting mauled, and he just won't go down. And finally, once Goto gets the upper hand, he does not relinquish it. Starts with a drop of Shibata's injured neck right onto his knee, and then a few minutes later hits a really good-looking Ushigoroshi. And then finally, when Shibata just doesn't have anything left in the tank, he hits the GTR 1, 2, 3. I love the second viewing of this match as much as the first viewing. Like the first viewing of this match live, it was like, holy crap, this is such a good back and forth between these two guys. But looking at it now, the second time around, and seeing the little subtle character elements, the little bits of, internal monologuing of both guys as they're going through the match is spectacular. And the post-match is also an excellent little addition to the whole thing, because in the post-match, Goto is spent. He's holding himself up on the ropes, and Red Shoes has to drape the belt over his shoulder to give it to him, because he just physically can't hold himself up without holding onto the ropes. And Shibata is motionless in the middle of the ring. Finally, regains his senses and rolls out of the ring. Henare is holding on to the Rev Pro belt and walking next to him as he's walking out the side ramp. And Shibata just reaches up and rips the tape off his back and balls it up and chucks it to the ground in disgust, because he knew he had his game plan. He had his game plan, and he was gonna win until he couldn't. And meanwhile, on the other side, Goto finally was able to walk under his own power, grabs the belt, walks down the other side ramp to cheers and adulation from the crowd that finally got to see him win the big one. And you can just see, even though he is emotionless Goto, who, has just been through hell, in his eyes, you can see that look of finally it's my time. It's such a great moment. I love it. So if you have the ability to watch Wrestle Kingdom 11, that is a match that you should not miss under any circumstances.
I remember watching Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It goes Goto, Shibata, then the juniors, then Naito, Tanahashi, then the main event, right?
Yes, I believe so. Let me just make sure.
Pull that up. I'm almost positive that's the order.
Wrestle Kingdom 11. No, it was the juniors first, then Goto, Shibata, then
I remember the juniors was Takahashi and Kushida, right?
Yep, Takahashi, Kushida, yep.
I remember watching that match and saying, holy fuck, how do the other three matches top this match?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember watching Goto, Shibata and saying, holy fuck, how do the other two matches top this match?
Yep.
And then I watched Tanahashi Naito and I said, holy fuck, how does the main event top this match? And then I watched the main event, and I'm like, all right, that's it.
You've scripted the perfect wrestling.
I'm like, all right, we're good.
We're done.
We're good. I'm happy. Now, I like the Tanahashi-Naito match more than the main event for reasons I've talked about.
Yes.
But the main event is still an exceptional professional wrestling match.
Stellar. Yeah.
But I love that all 4 of those matches are different. You have the batshit crazy junior match, buckle bombs and the weird sunset flip power bomb that Hiromu does, and Kushida just throwing his body everywhere. And then you have a street fight in Goto and Shibata. You have a story match in Tanahashi and Naito. Can the old man get it done one last time? You know, the old man aging right in front of our eyes, who doesn't realize that he's not the ace anymore, but everyone else does, but he doesn't. That story heavy with a little fist bump at the end, you know, in the beginning of the Naito face turn. And then you have the epic in the main event, which is just 48 minutes of just, you know, epic. Yeah. Epic modern storytelling, you know, Ben-Hur for our times. So and they're all four, they're spectacle, a good word. And they're all 4 totally different matches. And we will get a facsimile of that when we talk about Dominion, in that every match will be a little bit different in some form or fashion, which I think is a good contrast with WWE. When you watch a WWE show, all the matches kind of feel the same with few exceptions. Yeah. They all are laid out the same. They all have a heat spot. They all have a comeback. And, you know, I mean, like, they're kind of very paint by numbers. Yeah. And if the wrestlers are good, the match is good. If the wrestler is bad, the match is you know. But it's just the diversification of wrestling styles is something. One of my favorite parts about watching an indie show or a Lucha Libre show, and I think this is really prominent in Lucha, like, because you have your spot fest heavy Lucha when you're watching like Dragon Lee or Volador, you know, and you have your old fat man submission Lucha with like Negro Navarro. And then you have your just lucha brawls, Pentagon, Roosh, LA Park. Like, they're all different. Yep. You know, they're all lucha. They're all under that great umbrella of Lucha Libre. Yep. But Dragon Lee is a totally different wrestler from Roosh, who is a totally different wrestler from Negro Navarro, who's a totally different wrestler from Atlantis, who's a totally different wrestler from Pentagon Jr., who's totally different than his brother, and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're all luchadors and luchadoras, but they're all different. And the different styles of wrestling is something that really appeals to me. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Chris, and this has a segue. I'm wrapping this up. This is going somewhere. I know. At the end of the day, there is nothing that makes me happier than right now on June 7th, 2018. And I reserve the right to change my mind, of course, because you know. There's nothing that makes me happier than a New Japan main event. And so my match of the week is my match of the year in 2018. And it is Kazukata versus Hiroshi Tanahashi from Dentaku in May of 2018. Now, this is not a match you can parachute into and fully appreciate. Now, it is if this is the only match you've seen, this is a very, very good match. Oh, yeah. But it is not an elite epic match. I'm just going to give you my general impressions because the match is relatively recent. I know you've seen it because we talked about it. Yeah. 1, no finisher spamming. Okada hits 1 Rainmaker, and that's the end. Tanahashi never hits a regular high fly flow. Yep. Never. It's very Brock Lesnar pre-WrestleMania in that 1 finisher is all it takes. Yep. And I love that. Yeah. It's called a finisher for a reason. As it should have been, yeah. Yeah, it's called a finisher for a reason. Let's talk about the various callbacks. Okada countering a high fly flow with a standing drop kick, like he did at Invasion Attack. Tanahashi figuring out the way to break wrist control is to slap him in the face over and over, like Wrestle Kingdom 9. Yep. The tombstone on the floor, like Wrestle Kingdom 10. Yep. You miss all of this if you've not seen their matches. Yep. How about hitting the high fly flow? Chris, did you notice this? He hits the high fly flow to the back at the 30-minute mark on the dot. Yep. Just like the G1 draw. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they could time it to the second in the middle of a match with 14,000 people screaming, and the fact that they time it to the second, and the fact that anybody who's watched these two progress, you know, and gets that callback and figures out, oh, now they're referencing this. I talked about Solo. You know how Solo has a lot of callbacks to other Star Wars movies? You know, there's a great scene where they're flying the Falcon through the death field of death, and they play the same exact music that they play when Han's flying the Falcon through the asteroid belt in Empire.
Oh my god, that's so good.
I'm like, that's a great fucking callback. But if you hadn't seen Empire, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
You would just, oh, that's some cool music that they're flying through the death field of death with, you know? Yeah. Like, that's the same thing. If you hadn't seen Invasion Attack 2013, where he counters a Rainmaker with a sling blade, you'd say, oh, it's a cool counter, but you wouldn't get the history. Yeah. And if you hadn't seen Wrestle Kingdom 10, where they do the opening lockup, and Okada taps him on the chest, and Tanahashi just slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
You'd say, oh, that's pretty cool, but you wouldn't get that history. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
beautiful.
This match itself is only, with quotes, 4.5-star match if you've just parachuted in. But all the callbacks make it my match of the year.
I honestly need to go back and watch it again.
You got to watch it again on its own. Okay, I ranked my 5 favorite Okada Tanahashi matches. You ready?
Okay.
Invasion Attack 2013, where Okada beats him for the first time. Just because he fucking pops out of that high fly flow and he hits the Rainmaker, and I'm like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The G1 draw in 2016, which put Goto in the finals. Hits the high fly floor at 29:59. The time expires, but Okada kicks out anyways. Because old man Tanahashi just doesn't have it anymore. You know?
Nope.
Remember, that was June of 2016.
Yes.
That was after he jobbed out at Wrestle Kingdom. You know?
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom 10, and then this one. And then Wrestle Kingdom 9. You know, like there's other the G1 2014 is up there. I mean, it's just watching, and these two are wrestling savants. Like,
legends.
I may have to update my top 10 list all time, because Hiroshi Tanahashi is on that list. He's like sitting there like 8th right now in terms of just in-ring ability, in terms of everything feeling different, you know? If anyone wants to know what a perfect match is for me right now, this is it. This 5-star match. This is my #1 match of the year. So
nice.
My #2 match of the year, by the way, was the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah, well,
holy fuck! It's just
the gif of the guy doing the thing with his hands on his forehead, like mind blown. Yeah, that's what that match was.
Jesus. So
it's Ishimori and Takahashi.
I'm sitting there on the train at 6:15 in the morning watching Dentaku. Just people looking at me funny. I'm marking out on the train next to the homeless people and the people in the nurse scrubs. Because at 6 in the morning, it's me, the homeless people, and people in nursing scrubs.
Yeah.
Like the early morning AM nurses go on the train.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, you know how it is. You take public transportation early in the morning. It's like, holy shit. And
I have trying not to in the past, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to make a scene, and it's like, holy God, this is unbelievable. And people looking at me funny. I don't give a shit. I'm watching wrestling. Yeah. I get a little data. I get a little thing on my phone that says you're using all your data. I'm like, I don't care. Don't care. I'm watching. Watching.
You pay the overage charges.
Yeah, you pay the overage. I'm watching my favorite wrestler in the world and one of my 3 favorite wrestlers of all time at the top of their game. Like, whatever. Go to hell, Verizon.
Yeah.
Verizon, you go to hell.
Yep. You shut up and sit in the corner.
Yeah, you sit in the corner. No one likes you, Verizon.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and it's funny because I was burned out when we ended this podcast the first time. Part of the reason why we agreed to go on sabbatical was that we were both just not feeling it. We were just, it was, I never, Chris, one thing I'm going to tell you right now, I never want to get paid for this podcast. And we can monetize this through some effort. I don't want to be the guy reading ads because then we have an obligation to this podcast. I never want this to become an obligation. I don't want to look at this as a job. Oh man, we have to do the podcast now. Yeah. I want to look at it as something I like to do.
Yeah, the moment it becomes a chore,
it's not. I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm telling you now. I'm telling the world now. The moment that this becomes a job, I got a job. I like my job. I work at my job. I don't need 2 jobs.
Yep.
Which is why we went on sabbatical the first time, is because this was starting to become a chore. But watching this match was like, oh yeah, I like wrestling again. Wrestling's pretty great. Yeah. I went to an AEW show. And I saw Old Man Eddie Kingston and Fred Yehi have a 4-star match where they're just throwing each other all over the place like it's 1997 All Japan.
Wow.
It's awesome. Teardrop suplexes and corner bombs, and I'm like, holy shit! Old man Eddie Kingston still gets it done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I like wrestling. So it's like it's good that we had that little break. It's like, yeah, wrestling can be pretty awesome.
We did what we needed to do for our own well-being there. That's the most important thing. And when it comes right down to it, like, some things in life you do even when they are chores because they're passion for you. Like for me, streaming, like even if I don't feel like getting on stream, I know that once I get on stream, I'm going to be good because that's my devotion in life. That's what I'm all about, but this is a hobby. This is something that I do because I enjoy it, and I want it to always stay enjoyable because I don't want to lose the ability to enjoy it. And the moment that we lose the ability to enjoy this is the moment that this place goes out the window.
Pulling the plug.
But
so that's why unless like the proverbial offer you can't refuse comes out of nowhere, and we can make like unbelievable money where we don't have to work our real jobs.
Yeah. And
like if some like rich shady investor says we'll pay you guys a shitload of money to talk about wrestling, sure, great.
Yeah,
I'll be your bitch. Like, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested in doing the audio boom, SoundCloud. Reading about hot sauces and mortgage companies and all the other shit and Dollar Shave Club, and you know what I mean, Chris.
Yeah, we don't need.
It's not something I want to do.
We do this for love. We don't need to. Yeah. We don't love it that much that
I do this because I like you, Chris. I do this because I like our audience. I feel we have a really cool audience of good, compassionate people.
We got some awesome people in that chat right now.
We really do, and I do this because I like wrestling.
Yeah,
but like, it's just that's it. It's easy. So, but we're back.
Yes,
Chris, you're the expert. You're the prepper. You're the one who does work going into this. I just kind of ramble. What are we talking about?
Well, I feel like it's important to go in chronological order because time is a worthwhile commodity. So let's talk about the event of May that had a lot of people buzzing, and something that we just spoke about in brief. The Best of the Super Juniors.
Oh yes,
which took place between May 18th, my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. It was a good 30-second birthday, I got to say. And ended this past Monday, June 4th.
Who is your MVP? Let's do this. I will ask you a few questions, and I'll give you some answers.
Well, I was going to run down the participants first.
Give us the blocks real quick.
Yep. All right. Block A consisted of ACH, Bushi, Flip Gordon, Taiji Ishimori, Tiger Mask IV, Will Ospreay, Yo, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Block B consisted of Chris Sabin, Dragon Lee, El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, Kushida, Marty Scurll, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Sho.
Okay. Let me ask you some questions, and then you can, and I will answer them as you answer them.
Okay.
Who is your MVP of the tournament?
Ishimori.
Okay. Mine was Hiromu, but I'm not going to argue with Ishimori. I thought he was excellent. I thought Hiromu was crazy and charismatic as fuck and over and all the stuff that you want in a superstar.
Yes.
Ishimori as the newcomer, the take no shit newcomer.
Yeah.
And who gives Bullet Club because a legitimate rock star junior. All due respect to Marty Scurll, he's just not the worker.
Yeah.
He's not the worker that Ospreay, Hiromu, Ishimori, El Desperado. He's not the worker that those guys are.
Yeah.
Character's great. Promo's great. Being the elite, all that stuff is great. The bullshit with him in the boy band, whatever. But he just can't. When it bell to bell, he's just not as good as those guys are.
Yeah.
So
the thing that the reason why I pick Ishimori over Hiromu, because Hiromu is to see him back to his crazy batshit form, sacrificing his own body to win matches was spectacular, and I could not be happier to see that.
I'm gonna take the win. Oh, go on. I'm sorry,
but the reason why I pick Ishimori is because for far too long, Bullet Club has been characterized by the bullshit at the top with the Elite and Cody and Marty Scurll and Hangman Page and the people who actually represent the like the initial values that Bullet Club was founded on have been kind of pushed to the side. It's the the Tongans, Fale, they've all been kind of just sitting in the background, and even to some extent, they've even been kind of pulled into the BS with teaming up with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi on a number of occasions and other things like that. But Ishimori, right out the gate, his reveal was immediately a character of menace and someone that you needed to be worried about, and he kept that up for the entirety of this tournament. He was legit dangerous. That's what you want.
Exactly, and it is very tough for a junior heavyweight to convey that sense of danger just because they're smaller.
Yeah,
but it's easy for a guy like Fale or someone to convey a sense of fear because he's a giant brute.
Yeah, or even Tama Tonga,
or someone who uses their size as a way to project fear. Yeah. But like, it's much harder for a littler guy to do that.
Yeah, but Ishimori, yeah, he did it so well.
Okay, I think we're more or less in agreement. I'm leaning towards Hiromu, but slightly. Who is your least valuable player? Your LVP?
This is a tough one because there were a lot of people who I felt should have performed better, but because of the way that this was booked and the way that points played out, obviously you can't have everybody be at the top. I'm giving it to our two guys in Roppongi 3K, because I don't know what it was, but I was just not enthralled by their performances.
I have two names. I have two names for you.
Yeah.
Early on, I said Ryusuke Taguchi.
Yeah. Let's see. I expect him to just be kind of bland,
but he got better at the end. He his first few matches, I think he started like 0-2 or 0-3, and he did not look good. But then he kind of rebounded a little bit and looked a little better. Mm-hmm. You know who didn't click for me much was Bushi.
I didn't see that. Yeah,
It didn't just. He never got out of like second gear. Didn't really click. Wasn't blown away. I've seen him do good work. Good against Kushida when he won the junior belt in 2016. I've seen him do good work. Just wasn't really his tournament.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it was. I feel like, though, that there may be, with the way that kind of, LIJ is shifting it a little bit in the way that they function. Evil and Sonata have had the tag belts for quite a while, and Naito's been going through singles belts.
Naito's been bouncing around the mid card.
Yeah, bounce around the upper mid card.
The upper mid card.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Called the upper mid card.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, and now for a little while there, Bushi and Hiromu were doing their thing as a tag team, and that worked. Mm-hmm. But now that Hiromu's back now that they're both back doing single stuff, I feel like Bushi has kind of, in some ways, kind of had a bit of a stutter step, you could say.
Yeah.
And he'll probably bounce back from it. It might take a little while, but he'll probably bounce back from it. But yeah, no, this was a less than stellar performance from him. But it was obviously it was not his tournament. This was the moment for Hiromu and for Ishimori, and to a much lesser extent Ospreay.
Last question: who most surpassed your expectations?
Most surpassed my expectations?
Going in, you expected this person to be level 5, and going out, they were level 10 or whatever.
I'm going to go with ACH here.
That's exactly my name.
Yep. We've seen him do amazing stuff. We've also seen him do some wacky stuff. And going into this, it wasn't really clear where he was going to be in this. But and I was leaning more towards the wacky stuff because of the fact that, Taguchi was in it as well, and he's established himself while he's in Japan as being part of Taguchi Japan. So I was expecting a little bit more wackadoo. And instead it was just stellar performance after stellar performance. He only came out of this with 6 points because Block A was a logjam except for Ishimori and Ospreay, but almost every single match that he had was an amazing match. It was a ton of fun to watch, and he did work. So
that is, you've echoed the words I would have said. I want to take this opportunity to give a quick shout out to Tiger Mask, who I thought was very good. Maybe surpassing my expectations. They may have been set too low, but I thought he was pretty good. I liked his matches. I mean, for the old guy having the 12-minute match, the 14-minute match, I was like, all right, these are much better than I thought they would have been.
Definitely.
So I wanted to give him a little bit of praise, but I think ACH is the clear most improved, for lack of a better word. I'm gonna have one victory lap on this show, and I'm gonna have one whatever opposite of a victory lap is. I'm gonna take one W. Yeah, I'm gonna take one W, and I'm gonna take one L. Okay. I'm gonna take the L later, but I'm gonna take the W now. And you're in agreement with me here, Chris. Do you see how good Hiromu is when he's not fucking around with stuffed animal?
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
See how good Hiromu is when he is serious and maniacal and crazy and rabid and reckless and ruthless.
Yeah, absolutely.
See how much better he is when he's all of those adjectives as opposed to crying over a cat.
Yeah.
Do you see how much better he is when the crowd is not laughing at him and he's not the butt of all the jokes, as opposed to when he is a monster, a 5'4", however the hell tall, 180-pound vicious monster. Like, that's the Hiromu I've been calling for 6 months. And I am taking the W here. That he's back.
And let's also be fair here. I mean, outside of the ring, he still had his moments of being wacky. One only needs to watch.
I don't care as much if you're wacky on Twitter or whatever. That's Twitter.
I mean, nobody. You only needs to look at the press conference that they had with him and Will and the stuff that was being said there to know that there still is the the little bit of the crazy guy waiting around there, but. In the ring, when Hiromu is just killing it, it's a sight to see. It's
beautiful, isn't it? It is beautiful. So I'm taking the W, and I know you're with me there.
Yeah,
I'm not blaming you, but I'm taking the W. I'm taking the victory lap in my little ass apartment.
Yep.
Good to have batshit crazy Hiromu back for the next year and a half until he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Let's hope. Here's hoping. Yeah.
He is a psychopath.
Yes. The best kind. Best kind of psychopath.
Reckless disregard of his own health.
Yes.
So, I will take the L later in the interest of balance. When we get to the match. When we get to the match in question at Dominion, I will take the L.
Yes.
So, but in the meantime, let me enjoy my metaphorical victory lap.
Yes. And now to speak about the actual results of the Best of the Super Juniors, let us take a look at these blocks. Again, as I said, Block A was a logjam of nonsense. Ishimori and Will Ospreay ended at the top of the block, both with 10 points apiece. Everybody else in the block had 6, and Ishimori won the tiebreaker by beating Ospreay in their match in what was probably one of the best matches of the entire tournament.
What was that? You cut out again. You cut for a second. Who was
that? Ishimori and Ospreay. Ishimori and Ospreay.
Yeah, really great.
That was stellar. And then on the other side, Block B, Hiromu was the clear winner with 10 points, followed up by Kushida and Marty Scurll with 8 points apiece, and everybody else with 6. So overall, a pretty even field in the tournaments in terms of who had what. But this was clearly the tournament for Hiromu, Ishimori, and Will. I mean, and I will actually give an honorable mention there to Kushida, because Kushida did put out some really excellent matches here, and it was
pretty good.
Yeah, he pulled out
a great tournament, guys. Great tournament.
Yeah, if you enjoy juniors action, this is something you need to watch. Definitely worth the time. So now that sets the stage for the Junior Heavyweight Championship match at Dominion, which we will get to right now. We'll get to it in the course of talking about the card for Dominion, which we're going to talk about right now.
Sure.
Which is a stacked as hell card.
Let me tell you my plan. Now, Dominion starts 3 a.m. Saturday morning your time, 2 a.m. my time. My plan is to get up at like 4, because as I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. That's just on a Saturday. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I can probably get up at 4 because I get up at 5:30 during the week, so I can suck it up and get up a little bit early. And as great as the beginning, as the first match is, that junior match is, the matches after that are eminently skippable or kind of frankly nonsensical.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the junior match.
Yep. The first match on the card, Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match, Suzuki-gun versus Roppongi 3K.
Very happy it's not a 3-way, first of all. And we know why, because Hiromu is wrestling for the belt, but too many of these stupid 3-ways. I don't like tag matches. Unless you have 3 teams that are just awesome. And the Hiromu Bushi team is not awesome. And Desperado had a good tournament too, by the way. He had a very, very nice tournament. He is. I like that he was able to spread his wings a little bit and show that he can. No pun intended. See what I did there? Show and show that he could and show that he could kind of hold his own with the best in the world.
Yes, and we've been saying for a long time that he is quite.
You've been an El Desperado fan for a while, so you take the win there.
I have been.
You've been
I've been on the Desperado train for quite a long time, and I maintain my stance there. Yeah. He belongs in that upper echelon of juniors, and I think this was this breakout moment. So I was glad to see that. Obviously he was outshined by some of the others, but he
That's okay.
got the job done.
Absolutely. I mean, nothing wrong. I mean, you got outshined by some of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah,
great. You got outshined by some of the best wrestlers in the world. That doesn't mean you're not very good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We all can't be LeBron. We all can't be Kevin Durant. It doesn't mean you're not very good in your own right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Despy, he's looked good. Now, who you got? Who's winning this match?
The tag match?
Yeah.
This is a tough call. Honestly, it really is, because Suzuki-gun has held the belts for quite a bit of time now, and it in some ways feels like it's their time to drop it, but at the same time, like, the shine has worn off of Roppongi 3K, and we've talked about this. Like, Roppongi 3K, that Sho and Yo being stuck with Rocky Romero and that terrible.
Romero's a disaster for them.
Yeah, the terrible entrance music, the whole thing
that nobody cares for in the crowd.
They need to create a different identity for themselves, and I feel like them winning the tag belts is not the way to go about that. So, I am kind of hoping that Suzuki-gun wins this, which is, not something I would have expected to say 3 months ago, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping that Suzuki-gun takes the win here, and a different junior team comes out of the woodwork. I don't know who it would be right now, but I'm hoping that a different junior team comes up for this.
Like, the best guess as a junior team to come out of the woodwork is what? Ishimori and Marty Scurll? Like,
or
could you think of anyone else?
Kushida Taguchi? That's just
marginally better.
Yeah, I mean, this
is like.
That's really what it boils down to, is that the junior tag scene, like, now that the Bucks are out of it, like when the Bucks went out, I said, all right, this is great.
So did I.
This is the opportunity for the scene to kind of revitalize itself. But they haven't done it.
No.
They haven't introduced some.
This feud has been very good.
Yeah.
And it is a good example of the improved downward booking focus in New Japan. Couple of good three-way tags, even though they've been kind of shoehorned in. Couple hot singles matches in the Best of Super Juniors. I presume this will be the big the big blow-off. I think Roppongi 3K wins, because I think you can do a little more with them as champions, but I'm not really sure I want it for the reasons that you echoed.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, okay, so whoever wins, who's next?
Yeah, that's the really tough call.
I mean,
like I don't know what ECH's schedule is.
Is there someone in Chaos who could team with like Will Ospreay if he loses his belt?
Not really right
Does
now.
Chaos have another junior?
I don't think so. Let me run down the Chaos roster real quick.
I don't think
because I don't think they do, to be perfectly honest. I mean, other than Show and Yo.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah. I mean, the stable right now is Beretta, Chucky T, Ghetto, Goto, Jado, Jay White, Ghetto and Jado, Goto, Jay White, Okada, Rocky, Show and Yo, Ishii, Yano, Will, and Yoshihashi.
No, there's no one there. There's no junior without a home. All the ex-juniors are in Suzuki-gun.
Pretty much.
Taichi kind of floats between both. Yeah. Although he's now a heavy.
He's officially a heavyweight.
He was a junior. Yeah. He's officially a heavyweight.
Yep.
And
they have
Desperado's
there.
I think it could be Ishimori and Skrull, man. That could be your next junior tag team.
I don't know.
I'm not thrilled about it.
I don't like that at all, actually.
I'm like, there are other Bullet Club juniors that could team with Skrull. I don't think so. And they're not juniors.
I have the Bullet Club roster up right here. Chase Owens.
Give me the roster.
Fale, Owens,
no,
Cody, Page, Liu, who is
who?
That's Leo Tonga.
Yeah, no,
definitely not. Skrull.
He's like 6'11". He's not a junior.
Yeah. Skrull, the Bucks, Stephen Amell.
Junior. He's a junior. He's under 200 pounds. Or he's under 220. I think he makes the weight limit.
Ishimori, the Gorillas, and Yujiro.
Yujiro's not a junior, no.
No, he's heavyweight.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, Taguchi Japan, it's Ryusuke Taguchi, right?
It's Taguchi, Kushida, and, I mean, it depends on if ACH is sticking around in Japan for a while or not.
Oh, there's a name. We can get the return of the ACH Taguchi tag team.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, no.
For the one match they had.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Taguchi. I would prefer it to be ACH and Kushida, if anything, but is
Kushida in that stable or is he in Chaos?
He is Taguchi Japan.
That's such a weird fucking stable.
It really is.
Tanahashi still in that stable?
Yep.
I ask you that every week, by the way.
Yep.
That's a recurring weekly question. There's a Twitter feed out there that I follow because I'm a bad guy. It's called "Is Test Still Dead?" And every few days they just tweet out the word "yes." The name of the Twitter feed is Test Still Dead? And every now and again they just you're laughing too because you're also a bad guy. Myself. But I feel like this should be like a recurring theme on this show. Is Hiroshi Tanahashi still in Taguchi Japan?
It's just
why? The Twitter feed is Test still dead? And then every day or every other day it's just yes.
Holy crap, that's amazing. That is a stellar use of Twitter.
We need one of those because I always have like a mental block with Taguchi Japan.
Yeah.
Like it's such a nothing stable.
It really is. Like
everyone else is like flotsam and jetsam.
They made the stable like purely for the people who were unaligned, and like I hate to say this, and I'm gonna like I actively feel bad for what I'm about to say, so I apologize to everybody who's listening right now. But in this way, I am kind of glad that Shibata is not currently active, because if Shibata was currently active, he would be in Taguchi Japan, and that would be the worst use of Shibata that there could ever be.
Thank God they didn't put like Jay White or someone in there. Can you imagine Jay White trying to stir shit with Taguchi Japan?
Oh my God!
Like,
I would probably vomit every time that happened on the screen.
All right, so who's all right? Yeah, I think Suzuki-gun is winning this match.
Yeah, I hope so.
You're right about 3K. Rocky's got to go away, and while he's going away, can he go away from commentary too? He's no good at commentary.
What was the thing? Like, I thought that he was supposed to be the guy going to run the.
I thought Shibata was doing that.
I thought he was. I thought Rocky was going to be the one running the New Japan dojo in California.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
But he can't be if he's constantly over in New Japan. With 3K. So it's like,
I know that he is the big liaison between the Gaijin and the office.
Yeah.
Like if you are a foreigner who wants to work a tour in New Japan, you go to Rocky.
Yeah,
and Rocky sets it up for you.
Which which makes the claims by literal human garbage about him being the big liaison for the Gaijin absolutely even more hilarious. So that's another topic for another day.
But maybe he's not. What does Rocky do? Besides dance around with this like weird jetpack thing and make bad jokes on commentary.
He's actually like a very competent trainer.
But he's always on tour though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really is kind of weird.
What if Rocky goes back into wrestling?
I feel like that was just as a waste.
I didn't think we'd spend this much time talking about Rocky Romero.
Yeah, shocking.
But, whatever. All right, next match is what?
The next match is the next two matches are a couple of meaningless tag matches, but the cast of characters is interesting enough that we'll talk about them. First one is Juice Robinson and David Finlay versus Jay White and Yoshihashi.
Yeah, I'm not watching this match. And I like Juice. And I like David Finlay. And I like Jay White. But I'm not getting up at 2:15 in the morning to watch this match.
Yeah, this is a match that like the literal only way that this match becomes meaningful is if this is the start of Jay White's eventual turn on Chaos. That is literally the only way that this match actually it has any substance to it.
I think you saved that for the G1, by the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I think there's going to be a G1 match where it will be Chaos versus Chaos.
Yeah.
And it will Jay White versus Hiroki Goto or whomever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you start. And then the match ends with him just viciously beating the shit out of whatever member of Chaos he's wrestling.
Yeah.
As the other members try to pull him away.
Mm-hmm.
Gedo will be at ringside and he'll be trying to pull away as Jay White does the elbows. Like, that's how you start that.
Yeah.
Not in some second from the bottom tag match with Yoshihashi.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I think Jay White wins. Jay White's gonna pin David Finlay because that's how this feud goes.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, man, David Finlay's gonna beat Jay White, and it's gonna be awesome. But that is not gonna be second. That is not gonna be second from the bottom at Dominion at 2:15 in the morning Central Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be like fourth from the top at Wrestle Kingdom, or whatever.
Exactly.
Or third from the top at Power Struggle, or third from the top on one of the King of Pro Wrestling shows. They split the shows up. That's not going to be. They're not wasting the Jay White loss to David Finlay that they've been building up for like 4 years.
Yeah.
on a nothing slot.
And I mean,
that's going to be like literally because King of Pro Wrestling is two events this year, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
and to be perfectly honest, they could continue building this for another 4 years with how young you guys are.
Yeah, exactly. But
this could be like.
Would it shock you if King of Pro Wrestling semi-main event night 1 was David Finlay beating Jay White?
That would not shock me.
Because you save that moment. You don't use that moment here in a match with Juice. All due respect, and I like Juice.
Yeah, no, you
let the moment breathe. Let the moment breathe. So I think it's pretty safe to say that I think White wins this match. Or if he loses, he doesn't lose. There's no chance in hell there's the only champion.
The options in this match are Jay White pins David Finlay or Juice Robinson pins Yoshihashi.
Yes, I think those are both.
And there is, we'll call it a super outside long shot that Juice pins Jay, and that sets up a U.S. title match down the line.
Yeah.
It's like a super outside shot, but it's, that's like, we'll call that one Plan Z. That's what we're going to do. We're going to call that one Plan Z.
So I can see Juice winning. I can see Juice winning, getting his U.S. title shot at the San Francisco show.
Yes.
To be honest. And that could be like third from the top.
Yeah.
Because they're still having some trouble selling tickets, and it's in a month. Now, they're having trouble selling tickets because they don't have a card.
Yeah.
They're treating this as a New Japan canon show.
Yeah.
So they don't announce the matches for a while.
Yeah, and New Japan does not work in the same way that the United States does.
No, they don't. So, yeah, okay, whatever, that's fair. Next we have
is Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano versus Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr.
I think it should be for the Rev Pro tag titles. Because why the hell not? Put all the titles in. Put them on the line.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Ishii has been has been a champion in Rev Pro before. Yano has held the ROH 6-man belts before. So it's not, it's not that there's, not precedent.
Suzuki's Intercontinental champion this year.
Yep.
And they're the current Rev Pro champs, tag team champs, Suzuki and Sabre.
Yep. So it's not that it's not as if there's not precedent for there to be another.
So this should be for the Rev. Why not add a little juice to the proceedings? Otherwise, if this match is for the Rev Pro belt, I may watch because you never know what's going to happen with a championship in the line.
Yep.
But I'm not really watching this match.
Yeah, Rev Pro. If Rev Pro doesn't give it up for that, then there's really not a whole lot.
Even if Suzuki and Sabre win, which they should, and they retain, which they should,
absolutely.
But put the belt on the line. It gives a little bit of juice. If you're going to be in this grand alliance with Ring of Honor and CMLL and Rev Pro, have a little bit of cross pollination with your championship belts.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for Volador to defend the CMLL championship or whomever, because it's A, Volador, and B, the CMLL belts don't matter at all.
Yeah. But I remember Wrestle Kingdom 11 when Adam Cole won the ROH World Title from Kyle O'Reilly at the show at Wrestle Kingdom, and it was a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, that kind of thing adds a little bit of spice to an event and makes it it gives it a little bit more.
It makes the wrestling world feel a little smaller and a little more closer together.
Yeah,
which I'm all for.
Exactly.
What's his name? I went to the AEW show and Shane Strickland was there and he had the MLW championship. Nice. Wasn't defending it. He was just in a tag team match, fifth from the top. But hey, that's the MLW champion and he's got the belt. That's cool. The champion's in my territory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was talking about my match of the week. Shibata brought the Rev Pro heavyweight title to the ring with him, along with the Never belt. And Sabre, when he started up in New Japan, he was still Zaki 3 belts. He brought all of his belts to the ring.
I like that. I like that.
When she comes to the ring in Stardom, she brings all of her belts with her to the ring.
I get why WWE doesn't do it, because when you're the top dog, it makes, why should you diminish your guys by having them have other belts? I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying there should be a world where Seth Rollins is holding a championship belt in some other company. I get that. They are operating in a totally different ecosphere than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Although it'd be fucking cool as hell if Seth Rollins went on tour. If Seth Rollins came to your indie, that'd be awesome.
Seth Rollins as Evolved champion.
I get it. And then I'm not saying that that Seth Rollins should go to Evolve and win the belt. Although it'd be a great match. But I get why they don't do it in the WWE, because they are the pinnacle of the profession, and their belts should theoretically matter more than anyone else's belts. They don't, for various and sundry reasons, but they should.
Yes, ideally.
So
in a perfect world,
perfect world. Where are we? I think Suzuki gets one of this match, right?
More than likely.
Okay.
I mean,
next we have a match that makes no sense.
Well, I was gonna say they do enjoy their whole Suzuki can't beat Toriano bit, but I think that with Sabre in the match,
here's the big drama: does Suzuki can come out to Kaze ni Nare? Because they have not lately, and it has pissed me the fuck off.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah, well, they have not when they do the tags. They're coming out to that weird-ass generic music, and bad. I want the crowd singing along.
Yeah.
It's big show, damn it. Big show. So.
Well.
By the way, that was such a cool moment at Raw. Did you see that with the Special Olympics and Big Show?
Nope. Still.
It's on YouTube. Watch it. Right. Big Show's great. He's lost a shitload of weight. He had a bunch of Special Olympians on the stage, and it was a really cool moment.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. Big Show seems like a legit good guy.
Yes.
So, segue. Let's talk about a not legit good guy. But let's set that aside for a second. I'm going to put on my objective hat. This next match between Goto, Mike Elgin, and Taichi.
I'm sorry, you mean literal human garbage?
Yeah, but set aside for a second.
I will never set it aside. Right, but continue.
This match makes no sense.
Of course it doesn't.
What the fuck is happening with this match?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'd rather see. All I know is that
I'd rather see Goto Taichi. I'd rather see Goto Elgin. I'd rather see Goto. Why are all three of these men thrown together haphazardly into this match? None of this makes sense from a storyline perspective.
Three guys who will have no chemistry together. Also,
it's three guys who like, who was like, oh, it's like it's like Ghetto went to the backstage and saw 3 guys sitting there. It's like, you 3, you're in a feud, and they were like, okay,
Yeah.
why? I don't care. Figure it out. Like,
I would like to. I would like to take this moment also to point out just how many names within this company are not on this card.
Yeah.
And how many people are going to be just warming the bench backstage?
Who's not on this card? Give me the names real quick.
Let's start right with the most noticeable name, the man who was just your losing finalist in the Best of Super Juniors, Taiji Ishimori.
Yeah, that's wait. He's not in the match with Cody.
Nope.
Oh no, it's Paige and Skrull and Cody. Yeah, you're right.
Other members of Bullet Club not in this match.
Taiji Ishimori would not be in this match, although theoretically he could be. It is an open weight.
Yeah. Other members of Bullet Club that are not on this card, Bad Luck Fale and the Gorillas of Destiny.
The Gorillas.
Yep.
And Stephen Amell.
Yeah, is Stephen Amell actually in Bullet Club? That's our other Twitter account question.
That's our other Twitter.
Is Stephen Amell
she's still in Gucci Japan, and is Stephen Amell in Bullet Club?
Yep.
Speaking of Bullet Club members, your AAA heavyweight champion Jeff Jarrett also in Bullet Club.
I was going to say the question should actually be: has Stephen Amell done anything for Bullet Club this week?
Hey, he's all in. So.
But continuing, Kushida is not on this card again for reasons that I cannot.
Why don't we just have a Kushida Ishimori match just for the hell of it?
Yeah, that would be a much better use of.
Wait, Kushida's in who? Kushida's in Taguchi Japan, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we have Kushida and Tanahashi versus Ishimori and Tama Tonga?
Yeah.
Just why not? Why the fuck not?
I would be all on board for that.
Why not?
That would be freaking
That'd
great.
be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Fale instead of Tama Tonga. Because Hiroshi Tanahashi and Fale have history.
Yep.
And Kushida and Ishimori have history, and the 4 of them would have a good 8-minute match.
Yeah, we can make it work easily. Yeah. Bushi is not on this card. He's the only member of LIJ that is not on this card.
He's definitely the 5th wheel of LIJ, though.
Right now he is absolutely
kind of treading water. But you know what? Here, let me talk about a segue real quick. Let me cut you off. I understand your point, and I acknowledge your point. But I don't mind guys sitting on the bench for a little while because then when I see them again, it keeps them fresh.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've complained about this in the past. You watch Monday Night Raw and you see the same guys every week. You get burned out from seeing the same guys every week.
Yes, that is true.
Like, it'd be great. Like Roman Reigns was off Raw on Memorial Day Monday. And he came back last week and was like, "Oh, hey, Roman Reigns, I haven't seen you in a couple weeks."
Yep.
Hey, it's cool. Like, if I see, like, I can't miss you if you're never gone. You know.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, but by the same token, a lot of these guys whose names I'm reading off are guys who have not really been doing much of anything lately.
Yeah.
Like, Ishimori is the one exception to that, in that he came out to a huge shebang back at Dontaku.
I really think Kushida should go to heavyweight. By the way, I've been saying this for a while.
I can see it.
I think Kushida should be challenging for this belt. It is an open weight belt, and he is much better qualified than Taichi. And I like Taichi. I know you do not. I am Team Taichi. Of the two of us.
You're riding the bus by yourself.
I am the only man on the bus.
Yep.
Driver. The only guys hanging out on the bus.
Actually, there is no driver. You're just kind of sitting still on the side of the road.
On the bus. Drivers, the driver is parked the bus and he's getting a sandwich.
Yep. And
I'm just kind of sitting there playing with my phone.
Yep.
So, but like, you can't tell me this match would not be better if Kushida was in it.
No, I would take Kushida over either
Elegant or
Taichi,
yeah, or Goto even. Fuck.
No, Goto Kushida is a match that I would love to watch.
There's a lot of possibilities with Kushida as heavyweight. Yeah. And the nice thing is, if you're a heavyweight and you're Kushida, you don't have to freaking kill yourself every match like the juniors do.
Well, even like that's the nice thing about this being an open weight belt, is that he wouldn't even have to declare himself as a heavyweight.
I will say this: I do like Taichi's explicit declaration of winning the belt and then picking on the juniors just because you can. That's a dick move, and I approve that. He said that he's like, I'm going to win the belt and I'm going to pick on the juniors just because they're smaller than I am.
Nice.
Like, all right, see, this is why I'm on the bus with you, Taichi. I'm on the bus.
Nice.
Yeah. So, not just because of your Castlevania Symphony of the Night entrance music. You know? So I don't know. Whatever. This match is. I'm not watching this match.
Yeah.
Even if Elgin wasn't a piece of trash, I'm probably not watching this match. To be honest.
I'm definitely not watching this match. But the only outcome,
what's next?
The only outcome that's acceptable is if Goto wins. That's
or Taichi.
Yeah.
Now. Let's get because I am Team Taichi. I know you are not.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, here's where the good stuff starts.
Let's get to the good stuff.
So as we said before,
spoiler alert, this is my tag team of the year, the Young Bucks.
As we said before, the Young Bucks no longer counting as juniors. They have moved up to the heavyweight division.
They are 3 pounds apiece.
Yep, they are now officially challenging for the heavyweight belts for the first.
Have you seen being the elite with Brian Cage flexing and Matt Jackson talking about his physique, but it's clearly Brian Cage's physique?
No.
So Matt Jackson is talking to Hangman Page about his new workout, and all you see is from the neck down, you see Page on the left side of the screen, Brian Cage's giant body in the middle, and Matt Jackson on the right. And all you hear are the voices. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, and I'm working on my arms, and Cage is just flexing and stuff. And then it pans up, and Matt Jackson goes, Brian Cage, you're ruining my mojo. Get out of here. I'm talking about my physique. And Cage just looks at him and looks at the camera and then just walks away.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like Matt's like, yeah, I've been jacked. I've been drinking protein shakes, and all you see is Brian Cage. You're like, wait a second, that's Brian Cage's body. That's not Matt Jackson.
Make sense at all.
Yeah, it's like
that's pretty sweet. I love it.
It's pretty good. So they've gained the 3 pounds. Matt Jackson's still selling the back, the long-term injury that I love. Nick Jackson's still being crazy. They're refreshed from not being in the Super Juniors because they're not juniors. Do you think? I think the Bucks are winning this match, and I will tell you why. And I told you, and I messaged you this morning.
I think they are too, but I'm not happy about it. And I'll get into why.
I don't think they should, but I think they will because I don't think they want the tag belts occupied in the G1. The G1's coming up, and Goto. Wow, Evil and Sonata are going to be in the G1, and I think they're going to be in different blocks because that's how they do tag teams, which means every night someone from the tag team will be wrestling. And I think they'd rather have the tag team belts free so that they could be defended as the semi-main event of non-G1 shows. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough, yes.
That's my rationale. You know, I like that LIJ fended off KES instead of hot shot belts.
Thank God for that.
And I think that, you know, I don't know. On the flip side, the Bucks have other stuff to do with the elite drama and the trios belts, but I just can't see the tag team belt not being defended for the entire G1.
But the other thing about it for me that that makes me not a fan of them potentially winning the belts, and like this is entirely my own preference for logical storytelling than anything, is for the Bucks to declare themselves as heavyweights. What was it? 2 months ago? A month ago?
Yeah, before the Super Juniors,
and then to immediately win the belts, kind of, I feel like in a way it in a small way it diminishes the belts, and in a big way it diminishes Evil and Sonata, because for one thing, I think they've made up for the fact that a lot of their reign was taken up by Evil's injury. They've made up for it by the fact that since he came back, they've been stellar every time out. But for Evil and Sonata, a team that is considered to be in the upper echelon of performers in the entire company, to lose on their first defense to a pair of guys who not only are of much lower stature, in physical stature than them, but who are also heavily overworked and dealing with their own nagging issues.
And they have their own storyline.
And they have their own storyline as well, which doesn't necessarily need them to have the titles. I feel like it just doesn't feel kosher to me in a lot of ways. And maybe that's the fact that I'm such a big fan of Evil and Sonata talking. I mean, I'm wearing my freaking Everything is Evil shirt right now.
Nice.
And for the record, I still get hilarious looks from coworkers when I wear that to work. It's wonderful. I love it.
Awesome.
But yeah, it just doesn't sit well with me for them to lose the belts to the Bucks. And it's not that I have like a loathing for the Bucks. Like they're not my favorite tag team, but I appreciate what they do and I recognize their value in the world of professional wrestling, and especially within New Japan. But I feel like hot-shotting the belts to them, like as soon as they declare themselves like this, is just a little bit of it's just a little bit of a strange maneuver, in my personal opinion.
The only rationale I have for the Bucks winning the belt is what I talked about with the G1.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me if they just keep the belts on hiatus and keep them on Evil and Sonata.
Yeah, that's what they did with the belts last year. So
yeah, it wouldn't shock me, especially when you have this much talent to make up tag teams who will not be in the G1. Like I cannot imagine the Bucks will be in the G1. It would surprise the hell out of me.
Yeah, the field is going to be so wide.
Maybe Nick Jackson. Maybe.
Outside shot. Very outside shot.
Very surprising. And I'm maybe emphasis, like the G1, unless they expand the shit out of the field, we got a shitload of guys who are going to be in this tournament. So maybe Cody, like he wasn't in last year. Maybe he's in this year. Maybe he's not. Like there's a lot of guys.
I don't think there's there's not a doubt in my mind that Cody's in the G1 this year. That is absolutely happening.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of guys. Off the top of my head, there's like 15 locks and then like 10 maybes. Yeah. And for 20 spots. So it won't be unless there's a rash of injuries, it will not be one of the Young Bucks, but it will be Evil and Sonata. That's a guarantee. So I think Evil and Sonata could win these belts.
I hope that they retain. Yes, I hope that they retain, and I hope that the story in some way allows the continuing Bullet Club storyline to be furthered as well. I feel like that would be the best way to utilize this match, is to have this be a defeat of the Bucks in service to the overarching story. And I mean, it's not as if there's a whole bunch of tag teams. It's not as if there are no tag teams waiting in the wings to come in and take these belts. We said, Gorillas aren't even on this show.
There's a lot more depth in the heavyweight champ title, Gorillas KES could be called out of the bullpen whenever.
Ishii and
Yano, absolutely.
Suzuki and literally anybody else.
Exactly. There's a lot more options with the heavyweights than there are with the light heavyweights. The juniors, excuse me.
The juniors, yes. So yeah.
Next we have. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I can't see the Evil and Sonata winning being a bad result, and that's why I'm hoping it stays that way.
Okay.
So next up we have I don't know what to call this. I really don't know what to call this.
I don't know. This is another strange match. It'll be very good.
I mean, you could say that it's bizarre. something that it is long overdue in some ways, but for it to happen in this way makes very little sense. Rey Mysterio Jr. is making his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut as part of a 6-man tag team match where he will team with Jushin Thunder Liger and Hiroshi Tanahashi to face Cody, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll. Now, if you recall, the original plan was for Rey Mysterio to appear at Sakura Genesis and to have a one-on-one match with Jushin Liger there. That did not pan out for whatever reason. I think Rey was still injured at that point in time. So instead we are going to this 6-man tag match.
But I'm just happy that we're having a junior storyline that doesn't involve the title.
Yeah, not really. Only 2 of the guys in this match qualify as juniors. 3 of the guys in this match qualify as juniors.
Yeah,
only half of them.
Well, we could have gotten some random ass Tanahashi, Ryusuke Taguchi, Togi Makabe versus random Bullet Club members trio match that nobody cares about. And instead, we got this, and this is a lot better.
Legends versus upstarts makes it makes some degree of sense. I'm okay with that, but
Team Cody and Team Marty are the same team. Adam Page is kind of with Team Cody instead of Team Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
but,
okay.
But
old guys with Tanahashi.
I would say Page is more in Cody's corner than Skrull is, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other part about this that makes it very odd to me is that there's no good way for this match to end. I mean, if you're having Rey Mysterio make his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut, you have this match end with Cody eating a 619 and getting pinned. But
no,
that doesn't help.
Page takes the fall.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the smarter way to do it would be to have Cody take the pin, but because you want to have a moment of I feel like they need to have a moment of Cody getting a little bit of comeuppance to push that side of his story along, but maybe that's just me.
I don't think so, and I will tell you why when we get to the main event.
Yeah, but either way, Bullet Club eating the pin here to Rey Mysterio is the outcome that should make sense, but I feel like because of them wanting to continue their establishment of Cody and his goon squad being a dominant force, I feel like this ends with a Crossroads to Jushin Liger and Cody getting the pin, which is not the right way to use Rey Mysterio. So I feel like there's no good way to end this match in some ways, but
I think Team Ray could take the loss as long as Ray's not taking the loss and be okay.
I'm
always
less than thrilled with the debuting international name taking the loss, even if he doesn't directly take the pin.
Are we getting Ray versus Ospreay in the San Francisco show?
Maybe.
We getting Ray versus Liger at the San Francisco show?
That I think is the more likely option. But I think that it would either way. I don't like the option of Ray or Ray's team taking the loss, but I also don't like the the option of Bullet Club and Cody's goons taking the hit. Or I don't think that that's the route they're going to go, is what I should say. I don't think the route they're going to go is Cody's goons taking the hit. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think Bullet Club wins this match, though. To be honest.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough. All right.
Down.
Next up,
Juniors.
Here's where the real meat and potatoes hits, and get your bellies ready because this is where the good stuff comes in.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay defends the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Hiromu Takahashi.
These poor fucks are going to kill each other.
Oh yeah.
As JR would say, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, these guys have always had great matches that make you cover your eyes in fear and wonder what the fuck is going to happen next because it's terrifying to watch.
Very car wreck.
While
very
also being exhilarating as hell.
Yes.
Yeah, car wreck is an apt term for this, 100%.
I'm kind of torn here. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
On the one hand, Ospreay is in the middle of a all-time great junior reign. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, Hiromu is coming off of a Super Junior win that was itself pretty freaking awesome. A classic victory in the finals, and I feel it's the right time to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
To belt him, excuse me. A second loss to Will doesn't seem like it makes sense. On the flip side, though, Will can lose and then wrestle Rey Mysterio and Ishimori later and save those matches. You know?
Yeah.
There's no really bad decision here.
No, but there's also
really
it's
a decision either, though.
No, it's definitely not going to be an easy one for sure. So I feel like belting Hiromu is going to be the route they go, though.
So do I.
I feel like they like the response during Best of Super Juniors to him being his dangerous self again was good enough that they're probably going to want to ride the wave. And that's the right thing to do. So I hope that they do.
Okay. I think they will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this match could be an all-timer. And I think there's going to be 3 or 4 times in this match where you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop! No, God, stop landing on your head.
Yeah.
Stop landing on your head. Stop landing on your back.
Cover your eyes.
Guys, no. Don't, please. You have families or something.
Yeah, cover your damn eyes.
You have girlfriends.
Terrible. Yeah.
And people who care about you.
That
who
is
don't want to be feeding you life through a straw.
Yeah.
Like, I think Hiromu wins. I think he gets Mr. Belt back.
Yeah.
And all is right with the world.
Yeah, it's long overdue. Yeah. Then we have a match that's been.
Then we have a fucking weird ass match.
This has been brewing since New Year's Dash. This is a 5 month slow burn.
Well, I mean, for 4.5 of those months, they didn't reference this.
Yeah.
They had no idea if Jericho was coming back.
Yeah. But here we have Tetsuya Naito defending the IWGP Intercontinental Championship versus Chris Jericho. And, I mean, there's no question in my mind that Naito retains. Absolutely. But
I think actually Jericho wins and Naito gets his win back at the Cow Palace.
Nah.
I think he.
Nah. I don't think so.
I mean, if Jericho comes back for a third match, there's only two options. One, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and two, Naito again. So why can't he win here, keep the belt, and then put Naito over at the Cow Palace?
When is the Cow Palace?
July 8th or so. July 7th, July 8th.
Isn't that right when he's in the middle of his fucking terrible cruise?
I thought the cruise was like October of next year.
I don't fucking know.
I have Jericho Cruz on mute on Twitter because I'm tired of the fucking tweets.
I unfollowed him.
I followed Chris Jericho, and it's like every 2 seconds he's tweeting about the fucking cruise, and I'm like, nope.
Yep, I unfollowed him.
I don't blame you. Because no, thank you. Not interested.
Yeah, no.
Not interested in your fucking cruise, Chris Jericho. God bless you for trying to make that paper.
Yeah.
Make that paper, man. Just you're not gonna do it on my timeline. That's all I'm asking. Yep. I got enough shit going on with the fucking monks coming at me on my Twitter feed. I don't need Chris Jericho chirping about his godforsaken cruise.
Yeah.
But the goddamn Poseidon adventure or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think Naito wins, but
sure, why not? I don't think it's likely Jericho wins, but I think there's a chance Jericho could win.
Yeah, I mean, they could do something with it if they've managed to secure him for,
another match.
But again, I don't think that it's likely.
So,
but
okay.
And
you ready?
finally,
You right? Before we go any further, let me take my L. Remember, I told you I had my victory lap.
Yep.
Now let me have my defeat lap, or whatever the hell the opposite of victory lap.
Your walk of shame. Your walk of shame.
I sat here in this chair on this very show 6 months ago, and I told you the Kazukata beating Tetsuya Naito at Wrestle Kingdom was bad for business. And I said, I hope New Japan did not kill the golden goose by having Tetsuya Naito lose in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Well, I am a dumbass, Chris. I am very dumb, and I will wear the loss because it's been 6 months and business is on fire. The people are interested in Okada as a champ, and they're interested in Naito as Naito. Naito doesn't need the belt to be over. He is still unbelievably over. And Okada as the champ is great for the box office. I will sit here and say I screwed the pooch. I was dead wrong.
Well, you know what? I'm right there with you though. I'm taking that walk of shame.
Take the L with me. You and me, walk of shame. Yep. We're out there in our dress suits from the night before, leaving the ladies' house.
Yep.
Walk of shame. Maybe we'll stop in for a little breakfast.
No. I'm not going to call that a walk of shame because if you had sex the previous night, you should not be ashamed of it. So
fair point. Maybe we're gonna walk in.
We'll call it the walk of shame from being hungover as fuck and sleeping in the alleyway the previous night. Yep. That's a walk of shame.
We're staggering into a diner looking for some bacon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a walk of shame.
Reeking of Tanqueray.
Yeah, this has been 6 months of freaking amazing stuff. since Wrestle Kingdom. Well, 5.
Naito's still a made man. He still got his button.
Yeah, Naito still is the ace in the hole, and Okada is still the absolute god that he is.
Now, here's the question: who wins this main event?
Well, this main event is the 4th in a series of matches, since we haven't even talked about the fact of what the match even is yet.
Oh, yeah.
This is Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for the 4th time against Kenny Omega.
No, the 3rd time, because the G1 was not for the title.
No, there were 4 matches last year.
Yeah, but only 3 of them were defenses.
Okay, this is the 4th match in the series. This is the 3rd defense, we'll call it. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a no time limit 2 out of 3 falls match.
Question number 1: how long does this match go?
75 minutes.
Okay.
That's my knee jerk answer, and I'm sticking with it. You can. I'm gonna
say it goes only about 50. I don't think they go the full hour. I think they set it up to expect you, so that you expect it to go the full hour, but I don't think they go the full hour.
See, I'm looking at this card with only 9 matches on it, and a lot of these matches look like they should just be filler matches. And I'm thinking that they want to.
Yeah, but the junior, the junior match is going to get a lot of time. The Jericho match is going to get a lot of time.
Yeah.
The Mysterio match is going to get a lot of time.
A fair amount of time. But, you also have to take into account the endurance of the other 2 guys on Mysterio's team there.
Yeah, but it's a tag match. They only got to do shit for 8 minutes.
True enough. I guess. But
Skrull and Tanahashi doing the heavy lifting in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll okay. So 75 minutes. I'm going to say 50.
Yeah.
Put a pot of coffee on at 6 in the morning whenever this match comes on. You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Does the match, is it a clean sweep or is it go the 3rd fall?
It goes to the 3rd.
I agree.
Absolutely goes to the 3rd.
Most important of the 3 questions. Who wins?
I have no fucking idea.
Oh, that's no fun.
Here's the thing, though. And I am of 2 minds about this, and I cannot decide which I prefer. On the one hand, and this is entirely on Kenny Omega. Entirely. And where they want to go with this Bullet Club Civil War storyline. On the one hand, after Kenny lost to Cody and kind of fell out of grace and lost everything, to have him then lose again to Okada sets up a really, really good conquering hero storyline for him as Cody turns into a maniacal fuckbag and ruins Bullet Club in his greed, and Kenny comes back to save the day. That's a storyline that I can get behind. On the other hand, I have just as easy of a time getting behind the storyline of Kenny winning that belt finally and taking it to Cody and saying, "You want to lead Bullet Club? Then beat me for this." And having that be the start of the eventual climactic moment of this Bullet Club Civil War, where hostilities actually openly break out and something goes to shit. That's a storyline I can also equally get behind. So I have no idea. Either way, Kaz Okada is going to be 100% fine because he still is the best wrestler on the fucking planet.
He's so made.
And he'll have the belt back by Dominion of next year. Like 90%.
He is an all-timer, Chris. He does not. It does not happen often.
Yeah.
But every now and again, the man elevates the belt, and he has absolutely done that. Now, I cannot see any way. Now, I am the same guy who said I would have bet the house on Jay White beating Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. So, and I'm the same guy who said business would suffer. So keep that in mind. But I cannot see any way in which Omega does not win this belt.
Okay.
There is nobody on the planet who loves Kaz Okada more than I do, except Mrs. Kaz Okada. Like, I love what they've done with his reign. But now that the Tanahashi match is over, there's nowhere else for them to go with Okada as the champion.
No, there's not.
Meanwhile, 2 years of long-term storytelling has led to this match. They had Omega go even with Okada last year. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Nobody else did that, right? They were obviously planning a rubber match down the line. Here's the rubber match.
Yeah.
Here's my 2 scenarios.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
My 2 hypotheticals. Omega wins the belt. Drops it to Naito at King of Pro Wrestling. After Naito pins him in the G1, Okada wins the G1, goes into Wrestle Kingdom as the challenger, and Naito beats him in the main event as the champion.
Long-term storytelling. I like it.
Scenario number 1.
I like it.
You ready for scenario number 2?
I'm ready for it.
Okada wins the belt. Or excuse me, Omega wins the belt.
Uh-huh.
Beats Naito at King of Pro Wrestling. Faces the winner of the G1 in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. You ready for who that is?
I'm ready.
Kota Ibushi.
Okay, all of my pants have officially vacated the state of New Jersey. It's what the fuck?
How unbelievable both of those scenarios sound.
I mean, that second scenario is like...
And here's the deal.
The goddamn dream.
And you could have that second scenario with without the belt. You can have both those scenarios. You could have Okada win the G1 and challenge Naito in the main event for the belt. And at the same time, you can have the Golden Lovers break up as your semi-main event.
I don't want no. I don't want the Golden Lovers to break up. If they're going to do that match needs to be a contest of respect. If they have the Golden Lovers break up, I'm not on board with that.
Okay.
Call me what you will, but I'm just not having that.
I'm saying, like, those scenarios. But I'm saying all of that is contingent on Okada losing this championship.
Yeah.
Because it's time. He's gotten his 13 title defenses. He's gotten his 1.5-year long reign. He's had great matches with everybody. Everybody.
Yeah.
He had an all-time unbelievable year last year, as we've discussed. He's having a great year this year. And it is everything the past 1.5 years have built to Kenny Omega winning the belt.
Yeah.
So that's my guess.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, I can get on board. Again, I can absolutely get on board with...
the nice thing is that the quote worst case scenario is more awesome Kaz Okada title matches, like as business skyrockets. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, Okada won the belt, and oh no, he's going into the G1 as champion, and oh no, he's wrestling Evil, and it's oh no, a 4.5-star match. Whatever will we do? Like, you know, that's not bad.
No, not at all. That is the nice thing about this scenario. That is absolutely the nicest part of this scenario, is the fact that when you get right down to it, there is literally no outcome to this particular match and the subsequent events of it that is bad.
Yeah, barring somebody blowing a knee out, God forbid.
Yeah, like barring injury and barring them doing something monumentally stupid. Which,
I don't think there's anything they could do that's monumentally stupid.
I can think of one thing.
What? Like a run-in?
Either a run-in or, I mean, yeah, but no, it's actually not even that, because New Japan doesn't do anything that allows for people to challenge for matches immediately on the spot. Like, so there's no possibility of something happening like Cody running in, breaking up the celebration, and taking the belt from the winner right then and there. So if Omega wins, I think he's challenging. I think Cody's challenging him at San Francisco. By the way. Yeah. Well, I can see a post-match angle setting up the next defense with whoever it is. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cody, because
it's in San Francisco. Absolutely.
That would make a lot of sense. And again, having that be the moment that sets off the Bullet Club Civil War, in earnest, I would be all about that. So I got no problem there.
This match should be. I'll go on.
Either way, like I said, this is going to be spectacular, and I'm excited for it.
Okay. Who wins? Give me a guess.
Well, again, I'm not sure.
I know you don't know, but go on a limb.
If I have to go out on a limb and I have to make a call, I'm going with you. I'm going Omega. I feel like this is the moment for it.
Agreed.
It makes sense.
Agreed.
It's been a long time coming, but this is going to be the moment. Yeah,
I'll be awake, pacing back and forth in my apartment.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be. Yeah, this should be a dandy of a match.
Yep.
What was I going to say?
Yeah.
So we got what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, let's talk about
You want to talk about the homework assignment I gave you?
Yes, let's do that because that is what that's something you came up with that I'm actually very excited about. I like when you do.
I came up. Okay, let's set the stage. I told Chris. I said, Chris, we've done half the year. I said, Chris, I want you to give me a top 5 wrestler of the half year list. And I told Chris he could set whatever criteria he wanted. And male, female, don't matter. Fluid, don't care. It doesn't matter. I want him to give me 5 names as to who he thinks the wrestler of the year is and why. And I have my 5 names.
All right. I do too. Do
you want me to go first, or do you want to alternate?
You go first. Let's alternate, actually.
Okay. We'll start from 5.
Are you going 5 to 1? Okay.
5 to 1. My number 5 name is Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
2 stellar matches. He is the ace of NXT, more than the champion. More than Aleister Black is, more than anyone else. He is the heart and soul and fulcrum of NXT. Like he is the axis that the NXT universe revolves around. He is the main eventer. And he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Business is good. In-ring is good. I went with both. I looked at everything. Can you cut a promo? Can you have a match? Do do people spend their money for you to watch you wrestle, etc., etc.? Number 5 is Johnny Gargano. The only reason he is not higher is that he has only had 2 unbelievable matches, whereas some of these guys have had more. But much of that is the opportunity. So,
fair.
Who's your number 5?
My number 5, and this is entirely personal bias. I will admit that right.
So what were your criteria? My criteria were: do you pop houses, and are you good in the ring?
I went one further than that. Those were two important criteria, but I also went for: are you involved in stories and plots that are important and make sense and worthwhile to wherever you are?
Okay. So like Gargano, are you a main event feud person?
So my number 5 is Io Shirai.
Okay.
Because she has not had a bad match all year. The way that they have used her to elevate the secondary belt of the company while the top belt has been absent, and also allowed her to be the kind of, how should I put this? She's on her way out. She's on her way to NXT. It's known at this point that she is on her way out. She's announced her retirement from Stardom. Her official retirement show is coming up this month. And she has, on her way out, elevated her allies, her opponents, and people who are just peripherally related to her within the company. Everything that she has done on her way through this, last run before she heads to NXT has been amazing. From dropping the belt to Momo Watanabe and setting her up as the ace of the future, and she is going to be the ace of the future once Toni Storm is gone. Like, that girl has some fucking talent. Holy shit. To her quote unquote blunders within the Stardom draft, which set up so many good feuds and elevated every faction in a fantastic way. Everything that she has done in this retirement run from Japan has been to the benefit of everyone around her, and it's great that she has done that, because they're losing one of the three best wrestlers in the world. They're losing the best female wrestler in the world, period, and they're losing the second in the space of a year. They are losing the second of their three biggest anchors. But this time, as Io Shirai is on her way out, unlike when Kairi Hojo left last year and Io Shirai was dealing with injuries and it just looked like it was going to be a rough time for everybody, unlike that, in this scenario here, as Io Shirai is on her way out, everybody in the company looks ready to carry the ball and carry their weight and make it still a spectacular product while they are, working their way through her departure. So I think that Io is I put Io as my number 5, and I am very, very heavily looking forward to what she's going to be doing when she gets to NXT.
Okay. My number 4, based more on the early part of the year, but they all count equally. Stuff you do in March counts just as much as stuff you do in May. You know, is the aforementioned Zachy 3 belts, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yep.
A popper of indie houses all over the world. A man who wrestles a thoroughly unique style and makes it all his own. And the star of the New Japan Cup, which easy to forget, but those were some hellacious matches. He's had good matches with everybody all over the place.
Yeah.
Belts everywhere all over the place. Has a proven track record of drawing all over the place. And I am very happy he did not sign with WWE after the Cruiserweight Challenge.
Yeah.
So Zachy 3 belts is my number 4.
Well, good, because he was my number 4 as well. For
nice.
The exact same reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, especially in the realm of, dropping the Evolve title to Matt Riddle, and at the same time still being a goddamn star, as he's going through that process, and the growth of his allegiance to Suzuki-gun and his growth within the stable and the role that he plays in it.
He's more or less the acting leader, because Suzuki's off kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah, exactly. And they can easily go in a number of different directions with that, and it's going to be awesome. So, I went with him at number 4.
My number 3, the star of WrestleMania weekend, a man who has anchored his own promotion for years and years and years, is one of the best in the world, a mover of houses, your friend and mine, the king of chops, Big Daddy Walter. Am I wrong when I say he's the star of WrestleMania weekend?
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't think I'm wrong.
He is. He was
one of 2,
yeah.
And we'll get to the other guy on my list in a little bit.
Okay.
He's one of the 2 stars of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
He wrestles a very unique style. He is brutally real in a fake business.
Mm-hmm.
He is the anchor with which WXW revolves everything.
Yep.
Everything revolves around him in an entire continent worth of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Pops into Progress and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And his shit looks good.
Yeah.
So, great year for the big guy.
Good choice.
Great
choice.
Year.
Yep. I'm going in a slightly different direction on number 3. And I'm going with your current Progress World Champion, Travis Banks.
Solid.
Who has had, despite being somewhat on the periphery of things, and not necessarily being the centerpiece of Progress, has still nonetheless been excellent in everything that he has done within Progress, has been stellar in every other promotion that he's worked, and has now earned himself a much-deserved spot working the second United Kingdom Championship tournament in WWE.
Okay.
I think that he is going to be an absolute star in that, and I think that the tournament is, in many ways, I feel like they're going to use this as a way to court him, and the tournament will end up being his to lose, whether he wants to sign with them or not. That's going to be the ultimate decision, because for them to not have Travis Banks on their radar, it would be
they have him on their radar.
without a doubt. Like,
we rag on them all the time, but they're not that dumb.
Yeah,
they may not know what they're doing when it comes to booking, but in terms of talent acquisition, they know what they're
doing. Yeah. So yeah, Travis Banks is my number 3.
My number 2 is a man I have waxed poetic on for months, years. One of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world, and is having an all-time great title run as he holds his title. He moves houses all over the world. He is, in my estimation, a Hall of Fame worker already. Now, there's only 2 names left who fit that description, Chris.
Yep.
So you should know who I'm talking about. And when I say number 2, you'll know who number 1 is, because you know me. My number 2 is Kaz Okada.
Yep.
And there's nothing more that needs to be said about this guy.
Yeah.
So, that we haven't already talked about.
Yeah.
He's an all-timer. And there's no when I make my top 20 list, again, when I updated after I did it a few years ago, he was on the list at the age of 30. He's just, the only question is how high up the list. I may do that when we have a slow week, like right before SummerSlam. I may dust off the top 20 list, the all-time top 20 list that I had a couple years back. On the site that is no longer named. The site that shall not be named. My top 20 list. But he's on the list. He was not on the list a few years ago. He is definitely on the list now. So he's just the man. I love him. Yep. But there's someone who's having a better year. But give me your number 2.
My number 2 is Walter. For all the reasons you named, Walter has been international star extraordinaire, and he is just there is nothing that Walter has going for him right now that is not, spectacular in every way. What Walter has going on is, he is the heart and soul of WXW, and to a greater extent, all of mainland European wrestling. The man is the man is the pinnacle of what's going on that side of the ocean that's not in the UK. And even in the UK, where he shows up in Progress, shows up around and about. He's a star, and every time he comes to the US, he's a star.
And he's charismatic as fuck. He holds a room, Should I go to my number 1?
Please do.
It should be pretty obvious at this point, because it's, a man who has been a champion, has drawn houses all over the world, and another guy, the other star of WrestleMania weekend, is Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Is
my number 6.
Oh, it's valid. He has turned the corner for me this year. He is in ring. Is second to none this calendar year. Between the WrestleMania matches, the match with Matt Riddle that I was in attendance for, the other match with Matt Riddle a month later, the Best of Super Junior tournament he had, the various and cool tag matches that he had, the Wrestle Kingdom 4-way, the matches he had overseas. It's just the stuff that this guy does. The fact that he weaves in his broken down body, but that once he gets rolling, he's unstoppable. The fact that he's popping houses all over the place. People pay money to see Will Ospreay. The fact that he is building a continent's worth of wrestling in Australia from nothing with his girlfriend. He and his girlfriend are like creating Australian wrestling with not a lot of help. It's the two of them, and it's just, and the fact that he is going to fucking maim himself to put on a good show, whether it's in front of 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people. I mean, like we've talked about this before, but the trite bullshit about this guy, it just tells me that you're ignorant about pro. If you do not acknowledge Will Ospreay's greatness, you don't have to like the guy. I don't give a fuck if you like him or not. He's kind of adult, to be honest.
Yes. Oh yeah,
but if he's adult
outside of the ring,
he's adult. He's an idiot. But I don't want to hear any more about how Will Ospreay doesn't sell. Like that just tells me that you haven't watched wrestling in 4 years. That's what that tells me. And hey, God bless, But like, he's in one of my 5-star matches this year. He'll probably be in another one by the time this Dominion match happens.
Yeah,
he is, and I mentioned it before. It is one of the best junior heavyweight reigns in decades. I mean, you got to go back to like Wild Pegasus asked Chris Benoit in the mid '90s to get a junior reign that is on par with what Will is doing this year. Mm-hmm. And in an unbelievably stacked junior field, he is the king of the castle.
Yep.
So that's my number one.
Yep. I mean, I went with the obvious choice that you can't go wrong with and picked Okada as number one. Because I mean, the guy took what was on the 4th day of the calendar year, what appeared to be one of the worst possible business decisions that a company could make, and turned it into the biggest win that the company has ever seen.
I was dead wrong.
We were both dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
And you know what? I've never been more happy to be wrong.
Agreed.
Honestly, because let's get something straight, guys. We talk a lot about how much we wish WWE would, get off their idiocy and, figure out how to run a coherent company.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that we are excited by failure. We are hardly excited by failure. We want to see, these companies do well and succeed, but we also want to see them do well and succeed while also making their customers happy. And there's the difference.
Yeah, and we will talk about this next week. Next week is a very WWE heavy show. We have 2 major shows to preview. Yeah, it's okay though. NXT will be pretty great.
Yeah, I know.
Money in the Bank will be less great.
Yeah, we're not particularly enthused to be talking about Money in the Bank, but we will talk about it.
Yeah. So, but we wanted to do something a little different.
Yeah. So,
give us your top 5, guys. If you're floating around here in the chat or you're on Twitter.
Yeah, guys. If you want, throw some tweets, throw some DMs, help them in the chat, whatever you feel like doing. But that's gonna do it for us, and we're gonna do our usual thing of letting you guys know where else to go for.
I am going to be on a World Cup podcast Tuesday with friend of the show Don Sal Cusmano at 7 Central Tuesday evening.
Oh, very nice.
We're talking a little soccer. And then I may be making a guest appearance on a friend of the show's podcast, so I don't want to spoil it yet, though. We don't have a date yet. We don't have a date yet, but I may be making another guest appearance. Now that I'm back in the podcasting saddle, I'm riding this horse all the way to the next town, my friend.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
Plugs, brother Chris.
But if you are looking for other excellent wrestling content from independent content creators, we have plenty of options for you guys. Obviously, Wednesday Night Shooting with Tanya Rogers and Andrew M. Swift. They are stellar people. They know their stuff, and they are always a great time to listen to. So I highly recommend you check them out. Follow Tanya on Twitter at MilitiaMalsJoe. That's no E at the end of Joe, by the way. And follow Andrew M. Swift on Twitter at surprise Andrew M. Swift. Who would have guessed?
Sometimes it's that easy.
Sometimes it is that easy. George mentioned friend of the show, Don Sal, and his show Match Fixing continues on Cedar Bridge Media, of course. Follow him at Cusmano_Sal, and you can also follow Cedar Bridge Media at Cedar_Bridge. And check out Match Fixing. It's always a good time. Don Sal knows his stuff as well, and he is a really good dude and very well spoken, and I always enjoy his stuff. Mm-hmm. And of course, our Los Ingobernables de podcast brethren, Shooting the Breeze on Saturday mornings at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Takers Meeting and Mr. Dr. Senju bringing you their unique brand of wrestling coverage in the realm of the professional wrestling, covering all different aspects of the business. And it's a grand old time. We love those guys. We're always happy to support them, and they support us in turn. So go and check out Shootin' Da Breeze. You can find them on Twitter at Shootin' Da Breeze1, no E at the end of Breeze. You can also follow Takers Minion at Takers_Minion and Mr. Dr. Senju at MRDR Senju. And go check them out on Saturday mornings. Get some breakfast, get some graps. It's always
get some breakfast, get some graps. If you don't already follow us on iTunes, Chris, where can they follow us on iTunes?
Well, if you go down right below the video that you're watching right now, you'll find a link to our iTunes page where you can subscribe to the channel and throw us a rating and a recommendation and just let us know how much you appreciate what we bring to you guys, and let the people know also how glad you are to have us back from hiatus, because I know I'm glad to be back from hiatus.
I'm very glad to be talking professional wrestling with you, Christopher.
Yes, indeed. It's good to be back. And otherwise, also, you can follow us on our respective Twitters. You can follow the show on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle. And you can also follow us on our individual Twitters. I am at CrazyChris576, and George is at GiatSavas. So feel free to come follow us and talk some graps with us if you feel so inclined. We'd be more than happy to have you. And that is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take us out, Chris.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for listening and engaging with us this show and letting us recharge our batteries when we were on hiatus. Y'all make this while. Y'all are keeping the kind of people that you have been this entire time. It's very easy these days to be just a bitter, jaded old bastard like Chris and I.
Yeah.
Don't. Keep there's something out there, man, for you. If you like wrestling, there's something out there for you to watch. So keep watching, keep listening, keep engaging, keep being cool as hell. Because if you listen to this show, you're automatically cool as hell, right, Chris?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening, team.
Yeah. And, of course, we will see you next week for episode 62. Same time, same place. We'll be previewing NXT Takeover Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank. And we will also have your full recap of Dominion, which we are more excited to bring you than anything else.
Packed show. So tune in 9/8 Central.
All right. George, what do we say every time?
As always, thank you for listening. Don't be a dick, and don't work yourself into a shoot.
Episode 61 is in the books, my friends. Good night, and it's good to be back.
Bye, team.